I didn't think I'd be back here, let alone like this. Well, let's get this over with. So as is known by now, Rec Room put out that they will be officially shutting down the servers on the 1st of June this year, and my feelings are very conflicted. I've thought about making a video when, I came back in 2024 about how I hated the state of the game it was in, and I would eventually stop playing in 2025 entirely when the year rolled around. But I just couldn't get to it, and when I tried to make that video, the game would just keep crashing on me every time I tried to film, and so I ended up just scrapping it entirely. But now I feel like I have to make a video like this, given how close to this game I feel despite the poor state it's in now. This was once a game I could recommend to people, one that I loved hopping on every day to see all my friends and work on projects that I sadly never got around to finishing. And over the course of this video, I want to just... Do you mind? I want to take a chance to talk about my past with this game and how frankly it changed my life. Talk about the projects that never got to see the light of day, and that at least one of them I've reworked mentally over the years with just trying to figure out a means to make that. My unintended break and inevitable return, and what I had to watch this game become, all leading up to the upcoming shutdown. And just overall my feelings on everything about this game. Now, this video won't be going overall Rec Room history from the beginning to this point sort of deal. So if you came for that sort of video, that isn't the video you're gonna get, but I would appreciate it if you still humored my words and thoughts on this entire thing. But there's nowhere else to start with the beginning. Cliche saying, I know. But grab a snack, a drink. A jink? What the fuck am I talking? Grab a snack, grab a drink, get comfy. This will probably take a while.
Mid-editing Rylee here. I just wanted to mention that for some reason in VR, my mic kind of picked up really weird, so you can hear a lot of my breathing and a lot of stuff like that. So, apologizing in advance. Sorry.
So, we go all the way back to early 2017 to mid-2018. I would have been 13, 14 at the time, and I was starting middle school, and one day, my dad would reveal that he had gotten a PlayStation VR, the first one obviously, and that would introduce me into the world of virtual reality, and while looking for free games to play, because I couldn't really buy any myself, I would find Rec Room in the PlayStation Store. And my dad would help set me up with my first account. Now that I wouldn't have much to speak on. However, on March 14th of 2018, my proper account would have been made, and it started awkward just like any other new player did, I'm sure. And the account went by a few names, but the one I eventually began to stick with was Phantom_Hunter-5. And eventually, that shortened and turned into Phantom. Or also Phantom RR if,
Hey, post-editing, or I guess mid-editing Rylee here. I just wanted to quickly mention, if anyone recognizes those names and knew me back then, feel free to mention it in the comments. I looking through all the different pictures, trying to prepare for this video and all of that. I recognize a lot of those faces, and I have wondered how a lot of them are doing, so if you knew me, feel free to say so. I'd love to hear you again.
Not only did I meet a ton of friends that some of which are still around to this day, as stupid as it sounds, I would also meet my first proper partner through Rec Room, and have my first relationship there, and here's where I'd like to take a moment to set up some more context that shows just how great of an impact this all was for me. Middle school was probably the second roughest period of my life. It's where my insecurities really began to emerge, and I doubted myself at every damn turn, especially when it came to people and social interactions. I always felt like the outcast, like the weird one, like odd one out, and it doesn't help that I was enrolled to a special education program at the time. And I'd also begin to learn I wasn't as straight as I thought I was by the end of middle school. Where there was silence from others, my brain filled in the blanks of what they thought, and it was always bad. But when I started to play Rec Room, I wasn't judged nearly as much as I thought I would be. I could laugh alongside others that I didn't know well. I could make others laugh. I found friends and eventually my first relationship all by being myself. And people didn't judge the person behind the headset because I was a person just like them. It showed me I wasn't alone. I wasn't the weird one. It showed me I was able to be loved. Now, was everything perfect? No, of course not. Like, of course, I ran into the occasional no-life trolls, toxic folks, misbehaving kids screaming slurs because their parents don't give a shit. But overall, I found so many people that even if I never saw them again, I shared a good time with, whether they were just a one-off rec center instance or over the course of the next couple years as like really good friends. Rec Room was a community I was proud to be a part of, and eventually not only would that help me slowly shape over time, but would help me like learn to develop as a person. It would inspire my creative side, and I'd eventually pick up that damn maker pen, and I'd get to work creating projects that I was passionate about. Though, the sad news is, I could never finish the big projects I had. For the most part, I worked on them alone, and I was content with that, but it made it harder to work on these things, and so many things I would have loved to put out and share with everyone just kind of sat in the create tab of my watch just collecting dust, but they've always been there waiting. And like I mentioned in the intro, there was one that I did think of a rework for, but, you know, I want to share some of these projects with you. So let's start with that one.
What's wrong with me? I don't feel like myself. Almost like I'm becoming someone else.
Five Nights at Phantoms, a FNAF fan game that I based around an attraction featuring animatronic counterparts of myself and some of my friends, and there were so many iterations of this project that would eventually, you know, look like all this. And there's a lot I still like about this idea, and like a lot of the concepts I made to this day, but as time went on, I can confidently say, yeah, some of this stinks. Overall, most of the idea is solid in my head, but two major things don't sit as well anymore. One, I eventually didn't really like the self-insert aspect, which, don't get me wrong, I don't think inherently self-insert stories are, like, bad. They can be really good, but it just, for my purposes, I didn't feel like it quite was right anymore. And then two, the story. Oh, the story! I do not like the original story I had planned for this game. Allow me to run through a quick simplification of it so you can and you probably immediately will understand why I look back on this aspect poorly. I should get a prop for this. This works. Although I have to hold it really awkwardly. No, I won't use that. I could just spawn in a prop. What am I doing? I know how to use the maker pen. I enjoy the circuits. All right, got a prop ready. That was awkward. Remember, this is a very like simplified version of everything, but you know. My parents ran the restaurant and made me and my friends the animatronics, and this game's William Afton equivalent would tamper with an animatronic who's back there in the backstage, causing it to attack a younger child in a room over there that's off camera, and would get put backstage, like I just pointed over there, to get looked at, and this guy would proceed to murder me and my friends, and one day we'd haunt our respective animatronics. And then one night when he comes back, insert version of William getting spring-locked. But how he does his signature coming back in this game, I may hear you ask. Well, he makes a deal with the devil, and a monstrous version of the animatronic he haunts hides in the suit and is able to corrupt the main cast over there. And, you know, that's why they attack at night. But then one night at the end, they become wise and they begin to fight the William equivalent, all in the monstrous forms of the animatronic suits, and the Night Guard escapes as the main cast supposedly kills William Faketon, and the building burns to the ground. Yeah, and by the way, I planned on doing sequels! It goes without saying that I could not write a story to save my life at that point. At least not a fitting story. But like I said, I still liked some of the concepts I had here, especially the monster versions of the cast, which turned into beings of flesh and blood that hunger for human, like, you know, meat and everything. And with the personal experience I went through in 2024, it shaped a new version of the story that I think works so much better while still being able to use the aspects I liked about it originally. It just didn't make sense for what I was doing in the original idea. With all that, I'm going to show some live footage of the map that only my friends ever got to see, and we'll come back when the next map is being discussed. So I'm having to re-record some of this because the last time I did the live recordings, I forgot to unmute the game audio, and so, you know, I'm back. It's a bit late in the night, so some of the recordings might be a little bit quieter in terms of how I'm talking, but oh well. Anyway, let's go into this. All this is going to be unscripted in terms of, these last segments showing off parts of the worlds and everything here, like rooms that... well, like that really matters anymore, but here's the title screen. As you can see, like, yeah. Because it's not like there's anything you can see. So, touch. So, this is the entryway. As you could tell, there was still some building aspects of, that sort of stuff that I needed to get done. However, also, this room is way bigger than it needs to be. Like, because I planned on having like a little desk here, and then, you go in, but it's like, you don't need that much space for this. Like, definitely, like, the wall could, in reality, be, like, here. And, like, this wall could be more, like, here. That'd be much more reasonable, probably. But then... Sorry, I do have a couple talking points that I wanted to do that I'm making sure I have handy, which is, like, down here on my overlay. Okay. Anyway, so you walk in... And this is a little arcade section. Pretty simple arcade machines because they don't need to be too complicated. They need to just get the point across. I could have, made them a little bit better. Have this come out more. Have them, not so like that. But, they work for what they are. And then, the bathrooms over here, which... I remember the first time I recorded this, I'm being like flabbergasted, but then I'm coming here and here again, and I'm flabbergasted again at how big this like entire way is. Like, why is this so long? Like, motherfucker, like, hey, where's the bathroom? Oh yeah, it's just down the hall of doom over here. It's like men's, women's, whatever the fuck. And then, first dining area, then the dining area by the stage, which here are all the animatronics. Oh wait, this is still here? Huh. I didn't think I saved this with the clipboard prop that I spawned in for the scripted part. Oh well, I can stay over there. Here's the cast. There's Phantom, there's my friend Hunter. I don't quite remember their name, but I haven't talked to them since, like, Rec Room days. Then in here, this used to be my buddy Zach, and then some petty drama happened, and then I ended up changing it to my friend Coffee, who I still know to this day. Reconnection was crazy, by the way. Like, either way, the idea and their gameplay mechanics were going to stay the same. And then this is one of my old buddies, who I wonder how he's doing nowadays, but Chevy was our Foxy version. Got a pirate outfit and everything. You go over here, a couple more arcades by the kitchen, which normally you wouldn't be able to walk into, but I had a thing where there's just an invisible collider here that only had an exception for admins or the creators or any of my friends. So, meanwhile, I could just walk in here willy-nilly. And this was unfinished. Granted, I don't remember if I was going to put anything back here properly. Like, I think I originally thought so, but, like, looking back, I really didn't need to. I mean, I could have. But the kitchen would have importance. And then, as mentioned earlier, this room is still pretty styled over Zach. There used to be, like, little streamers that are, like, little orange and blue flames for the whole Flareon thing. And you can't get in here during the day, but also you could just... you still got it. But, just a little stage. This would have been a little specific area for younger kids. So, like, the more mature and, like teens or whatever could hang out here, where any kids that, didn't have anywhere else to go went in here. Janitor's closet over here, standard shelf, built-in wall shelves, probably a bit bigger than it needs to be, honestly. Which seems to be a theme for that, and then that, and then that. Like, fucking, hang on, because let me go back here. Fucking, It's so fucking wide. Okay. I forgot to mention one of my talking points. So animatronic designs, I'm still really happy with to this day. I think, obviously, like, the Maker Pen doesn't do them enough justice for, like, what they, properly look like. But for what I could do, I think I did it very well. This was based on our outfits at the time. This used to be my main getup back then. This was Hunter's, that person's. It's the last outfit I've ever seen Coffee in this game. And then Chevy's. For what I did, I think I did really well. Obviously, it's a bit of jank and it's, but for what it is, I think I did really well. I think I might have used like some base on the store for like the heads and the body specifically. I think anyway, I genuinely can't remember, but I think I'm really happy with how these are designed. And if you give them to more of a professional, or like even like another lore thing about me is I used to use Scratch a lot growing up. And I wanted to try and make a Scratch version of this game. And so my character was the only one I ever ended up getting a vector model of, because I made it myself. And it looked way better there. That's a 2D stylization that was way easier for me to get than this 3D space one, which, granted, could have been worse. And, well, it kind of was. Then let me go to the office, because I actually haven't gone in there yet for some reason. So, here's the office. Why is this dude? Why are you the way you are? Oh, looks like it's becoming nighttime, so that's perfect. Anyway, you can tell the office is a bit of a funky shape. I'm not really sure what I was thinking with this shape, but it's yeah, fucking look at this. What is this? Like, why? Hang on. Okay, now I'm just realizing why is. What was I on? Okay, whatever. So we'll get to that. But anyway, it's going to become night here soon. Which, there it is. And the ambience kicks up. Let me make sure that's picking up. Yes, it is. Cool. Anyway, we go into the office, and now is basically the perfect time where I can talk about mechanics. So as you... What the... Okay, whatever. Camera system, it's how you think it works. Where the hell is it there? Pretty sure that's using the One Night at Flumpty's sound, and obviously the bleeding of the sun through, or the moon, I guess, I don't know, is not intentional by any means. Son of a bitch. Get back here. Yeah, I saw this strategy used in another FNAF map, so, I used it here. Stage cam. I find it funny how the camera is facing this way, but the button's there. And this, the Chevy cam, the coffee cam, pretty standard. Like nothing too special. Doors, lights. And this is some random picture that Hunter just left here that I never removed. Then we get over to here. So, also the clock is broken. So, I planned on having a couple more mechanics here, but as you can see, only 2 of them got implemented. We have Coffee Shock and the door light systems. Now, let me close. So, example, light works perfectly fine. If I do that, and then come over here as Chevy. Obviously, I planned on making a actual functioning game of this, but this is more just a basic RP version of the map that anyone could. Oh god damn! Why can he jump so high? Okay, whatever. So we come over here and let me in. And all that audio is being recorded through a really loud Bluetooth speaker playing in right next to my PlayStation VR microphone. But if I come back, do I still got it? I still got it. So if I come back, light don't work. This one do, that one don't. However, Shabby would be allowed to do either of the doors. And so what you'd want to do in that case is hit that. And then using the inbuilt sound effects, and then the light works again. Simple, but I felt like it was a unique mechanic that I don't think I've really seen anywhere else before. Even today, I don't think I've seen something like that. Then Coffee Shock. How coffee would work. Or Zach, whichever version would have been relevant. I guess I'll just keep it as coffee since this is what we have right now. So they move very slowly, and they'd go from room to room and would eventually go up to your door. Now, the thing with that, they will not be stopped by the door. When they get to your door, if you don't shock them, they will just come over here and just wait. At this point, if you try and shock them, it is far too late. If you go to shock, you get turned around and there would be a jump scare, game over. You hit this, it sends them back to the backstage, and then they have to repeat the process. And, whatever. The rest of these work very similarly. They're pretty standard. Nothing too special about them. You go over, I'm gonna fuck. I don't know. And a fun fact about the jump scare sound, that is part of the Doom Eternal soundtrack for the intro cutscene. I'm not lying. Play right now, editing me.
All right. Yeah, not a lie.
Yeah. But you can, oh Jesus Christ. But you can hear it. You can see how that could be a jump scare sound. And then we get to the kitchen. Now, for some reason I've noticed part of this doesn't work properly. There's supposed to be a costume that would rise up here. Yeah, once it turns night, and it just doesn't seem to do so anymore. So, this is your Golden Freddy Springtrap William Afton equivalent. They would be a very rare spawn, and this is basically only something that admins, myself, or whatever could wear in this version of the game. But they would function very similarly to Ignited Foxy, where they appear on a camera, and you have to look at that camera long enough for them to go away, and they'll go to another one, rinse and repeat like a couple times before they go away. And if they show up, then well. And that's just a Dead by Daylight Demogorgon sound effect. Me too. As you can see, yeah, that's where that aspect come in. Which I still like. I still really like this idea. That's... But also, she looks so doofy in the face now I'm looking at it properly. This is like the first time I'm actually paying attention to the face after so many years. What was I thinking? What was I on? That's so goofy looking. Pretty standard, whatever. Looking back at this map is always a bit of a treat. And, I think the map layout overall I like. I like these kind of smaller walls separating some of these little zones to make it feel like it's more established while also not feeling so closed and empty for where the guests would be. Though maybe, obviously, like, what was I thinking? I mean, could also be the janitor's break room as well as just the janitor's closet, with how big that is. Unnecessarily big. That's just probably misogynistic, but also, like, how the fuck you fit the stalls in there. Overall, there is a lot of potential I still see in this idea, and there's a reason I'm reworking it mentally, and hoping to someday find a way to actually make that a reality. What would I change here? Definitely parts of the map would need to be altered. This entrance area needs to be shrunken down. It does not need to be this fucking big. This gauntlet of doom and despair over here, obviously shrunken down, and probably in turn could also add in a break room in this area, because as far as I'm aware, yeah, it's just flat nothing. But like overall, I think layout wise, maybe with like a couple new rooms that make it so it's harder to see, or like different camera angles that make it harder to see all the other animatronics and like make it make sense, because I feel like in some of these camera angles you wouldn't see an animatronic at one spot, or you could, but it'd also just be too easy. I think, maybe separated walls, like something different. I don't know. I'd have to think of that another day, at another time where, actually dedicating it like full time to what do I want to change about the map? What would I rework and all that? But general ideas, shrink down some rooms, add in a break room because fuck, the employees need that. The office shape, definitely I'd change. I'd probably give it more close to a FNAF 1 office vibe. Oh, and it's daytime again. I think some of these ideas I had in here are pretty cool. I think making each character way more unique would be helpful too. Having them, at least the stand-ins for them in the new version, since it's not really a self-insert story anymore, more so using a personal experience to tell another story, kind of thing. Having them all be more unique and do their own thing would be really cool. Again, I like the monstrous aspect of this, and I think I have a new workaround that makes it make a lot more sense. I do like the shock to keep them from entering your room. Probably a simple idea, but, it would work with the right balance of how quick they move, how often you can use that shock button, if the shock button uses power to use or not. A lot of stuff at play here I think works. And I always enjoy looking back on this because, well, this was like my pride and joy back in these days. This was the magnum opus of my Rec Room creations, even though it never like fully finished. I've always loved this, and I always wanted to do so much with it. I never did. And I am ashamed in that, but also, to an extent, I am very glad that I didn't do it, because holy fuck, the rework would be a lot less like... I feel like reworking the story after having put out the original version would be a little embarrassing in a way. Maybe that's just me, but I think in my eyes, if I had to do that sort of thing, it'd kind of be like, oh, well, it could have been great from the start, but I had to go this way. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, that's this. But there are some other things I can show off for this as well, which I ended up encountering a couple of things accidentally, trying to find some of the other stuff I was meaning to show. And I really look forward to not only fleshing that out more, but also being able to get an opportunity to rework these designs, because I think my old character will stay relatively the same, but I think I will be coming up with new designs, maybe slightly inspired by my old friend's suits, to make the new animatronics, and I can't wait to not only do those, but make these grotesque, fleshy ones that are just going to be terrifying. And I'll definitely, I'll be posting art about it later after this video goes up, whenever it's made, of course. It's not going to be right away, so if you ever want to... This is probably, one of the times I'll ever plug my stuff, because maybe I should do it more, I don't know. But if you ever want to see any art that I make, I either post it in my Discord or on Blue Sky. There will definitely, any art being made after this video, which will probably be when I do stuff for this, they will be in either one of those places. Well, not even either. It will be in both of those places, so go ahead and join the den, or you can follow my Blue Sky. And overall, it's always really fun for me to look back at these rooms, and as you saw, I found some old stuff that I completely forgot about. And, you know, my re-recording doesn't really do that justice that I had to do. Five Nights at Phantoms is definitely the project I hold closest from my Rec Room days, and I hope I can share my reworked versions... and I hope I can share my reworked versions someday. For now, let's move on to the next big project that I had lined up. The Siren Head VR experience. This is probably the closest one I had that was done that I had made. And around this time I was first being exposed to the world of Trevor Henderson's creatures, and was heavily fascinated by them all, especially Siren Head, which I've always had my interest piqued in humanoid creatures like that. Just something about the concept speaks to me. Anyways, this was a recreation of the game made in 2018 by Modest Interactive for the haunted PS1 Halloween jam happening at the time, and overall my recreation is pretty accurate to the original, just with some touches I added that I thought would be fun, though I think most of it speaks for itself, so let's just move on to unscripted footage. Alright, so this is the Siren Head VR experience. Like I said, this is the closest thing I had that was complete. A recreation of the Modest Interactive game in 2018. You know, pretty simple. Yeah, try...
I win.
So that wasn't supposed to happen. It's not like we'll need you anyway. We'll get to why. Anyway, what the hell was I saying? So, you know, you got your truck here, you know, simple trickery by putting the cardboard cutout tree there, you know, invisible wall. You know, I always forget the name of the park. That's goofy as hell, and I love it. But one of the first little touches I did of my own was, as you can see, there's this. Normally in the original, you get little text boxes of dialogue, whereas this game...
So, hiker was reported missing here. I really hope that they weren't hurt.
It's voice acted, and that is, my buddy Zach, as of... fucking 6 years ago, and I remember both of us losing our minds originally when I just yes, trees park, because I couldn't think of anything else more interesting, so you know. But yes, a hiker was reported missing in this park. If you've seen the game by Modest Interactive, you know how this goes. If you haven't, then one, either go watch some other person's video on it or go play it yourself. You can find it somewhere. I'll try linking it down below. I don't know why I said try. I'll try to remember to, I guess, more specifically. But anyway, otherwise, watch this recreation of it. You walk forward.
Those warning sirens? What are they coming from?
There's our boy. You know, it turns to night as this happens. The huge. It's pretty empty. So is the original. But I also had to make up for ink cost, which I'm pretty sure they... Yeah, in a lot of updates, I'm pretty sure they have made the ink use limit higher. So by all accounts, a lot of these I could go back and fix or go back and complete. However, Circuits V1, which is what I understood, is obsolete and doesn't work. And also the shutdown.
Is that a backpack? Must belong to the missing hiker. But why would they leave it behind?
I don't know. Just Dexter shrugged. I don't know. You know, you got these. It's very silent, I'm remembering. Oh, I guess... Is it really all the way up there right now? Please hold. Anyway, now I should be able to...
Those don't look like any scratch marks from an animal I've ever seen.
There we go. So, anyway, there's also...
A scrap of a shirt. Looks like there's a bit of a struggle. That's not that calming.
Oh, yeah, there was a little... That line also showed there was a little bit of improvisation, I think is how you say it. Because that part wasn't in the original line in game, I'm pretty sure. So Zach added his own little touches to it. It feels a lot more alive that way.
More strange scratch marks. What could be making these?
And then here's one thing I added on my own, which was just a cute little thing you can find. It's nothing special, but...
Huh. This must be the cave where they teach the kids about bears. That's pretty cute.
Just a little world building thingy. Anyway, you can go down here.
These scratches seem to be leading up here.
And then you have this Fangbolt scene. Okay, yeah, they're working.
Huh? The hell is that? I should get a closer look. Wait, could that be? No. Oh god, I need to get back to my truck now.
And then... run. There's our boy. So here's the part where this didn't get complete. You will see why soon, even if I do this, which I think is slightly faster than just normal sprinting. Yep, motherfucker, Usain Bolts. There is a reason behind that. So if I go back, I will even reset it today. That should be... It's one of these, right? No. Okay, so those are one and done. Okay, I also need to... So this will be completely visible without needing to use a flashlight, which I should have done the last time I recorded this. But anyway, if we go into here...
Oh god, I need to get back to my truck.
Oh yeah, the
now.
animation starts before you... Okay, I forgot about that part. But as you can see, he splits apart the trees and makes his way down. And as you can see, he's got a hitbox following him. And you see, I tried to... Because I couldn't... Let alone it was a really hard feat back in the day. Anyway, I had to make a scripted chase here. However, yeah, some of my other animation problems really came back to bite me when this came around. And so you couldn't actually win. You legit couldn't win normally, how you're supposed to. Because even, as you saw, if you got right here, he would catch up and just grab you. And this was like the last thing that needed to be fixed. Outside of that, the game was done. Like everything else was in motion and everything else was working. However, well, my animation errors were the death of me, and I just never took the time to come back and properly finish this. So, you know, I didn't end up, you know, doing it properly. So one thing I definitely thought of while in the process of making this video, how could I have fixed this? The answer is probably really easy. I mean, there's probably multiple ways you could look at it. The way I look at it, what I should have done, and this is even assuming the ink percentage would allow this, is have the animation where he comes through the trees, because I still wanted to keep that bit more dynamic than him just appearing behind you. I wanted to what I should have done was have him there, and then that animation gets sunk underground where you can't see it, and then a new one where it's a simple walking animation, nothing special, loops and a series of different, like maybe a different animation moves that one more smoothly across the map to making it still a close call, but one that you could actually, you know, survive and make it to the end if you didn't dilly-dally too much. But let's say that was how it worked. And, well, that's not supposed to. You shouldn't be able to grab him. Let alone like that. Hey, nice to meet you, my big fan. Anyway, assuming you actually won and he didn't, touch you, you would escape.
I win.
And there was the avatar I wore at that time. And then there's Zach's, just congratulating you, oh god, the faces look so bad. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, holotars are a bit broken right now. Then you walk forward.
You escaped. Congratulations. Credit to Drape on the Flareon for voicing the Ranger. Now, look forward to the upcoming prequel of Siren Head, which was not actually made by Modest Interactive. It's just what I wanted to do. It's going to be story-driven. You escaped. Congratulations.
Sorry, I hate my voice from back then. God damn. Like, I hate my voice in general, but... Anyway, that aside, yeah, there was, like mentioned there was another Siren Head thing that I had planned. There's technically 2 of them that I had planned, but just never ended up finishing before I accidentally activated. I'm gonna put you down. I will talk about that soon. However, there's one thing I did want to show real quick. So, I found it. And it is a goofy little blooper, basically.
Hippity ho, I'm coming for your toes!
Oh! Okay, hang on. Okay, so, that's not supposed to happen. Okay, that's actually really weird. Okay, so what normally happened is he actually ran forward like this. But in reality, I guess with how the bean models have changed, it just kind of changes
I'm coming
to...
for your toes!
That is 10 times worse. That's... Zach's probably going to get a kick out of that, seeing what happens.
Hippity ho, I'm coming for your toes!
Okay, but anyway, that's... Why does it activate from so far away? Shut up, Zach. But I want to real quickly make it so you can see this close up. Yeah.
Warning sirens? Whoa, what are they coming from?
And this one moves a lot better because it's supposed to move in a straight line. And it disappears down there. That way he's hidden away and you can't just see him. There's like parts of the trees that I had to be really lazy with as well because of the ink count. But with that, that's really about it. So yeah, pretty simple, and you can see that I had the framework to, have this all complete, but I just never got around to it, which is a running theme for most of these. They fall into a couple categories. I either was going for something that was way too ambitious that I couldn't, optimize in ink usage, or just was out of my lane completely. I couldn't find the point where I was happy with. I was so close to finish that I just never took that step over the finish line, or I started to just didn't work on it past that point, which is the case for the next project. Yeah, any parting words before we go there? A kidder this one is. Now, to put into perspective on just how much this falls into the starting but not continuing, this is all I have to show for it. Yeah, I'm not joking. This title screen is all that exists for this massive project I wanted to work on. And and not because I couldn't figure things out or anything like that, or like even overworking myself, I just never started working on anything else for it, and I have some general ideas that I still remember for the project, so I'll just, share them here while he just kind of stands there ominously behind me. You cool with that, bud? I'll take that as a yes. The main idea is you are either a different park ranger or the hiker that went missing that you search for in the other game. And you go around the park and nearby forest, find different people you can interact with. I think one of them from the very start was going to be this old man in a cabin in the middle of one of these forests. You could choose different dialogue options, make choices, find multiple endings, save people or end up leaving them to die. All while under the looming threat of Siren Head stalking your every move. Different deaths, different chases, different stakes. Thinking about it, the ideas I have are pretty neat, and I think it would be an interesting take for a Siren Head game. Especially within the realm of VR. But even if I didn't drop it before I could work on it more, it would have been too much of a task for me to reasonably do at the time. It would have been way too complex and really hard to manage aesthetic versus function with the ink limit back then. And I already struggled enough with making this main menu area. I mean, a lot of these trees are added with the actual, update to how much you can use. Yeah, I added some more here just for this recording. But, trust me, it was way more barren. I just did this for the video. Yeah, I struggled enough back then making all the trees for this and everything else. That's why there's, so little cars in the parking lot and shit. While this entire project is a really cool idea, I'm honestly glad I didn't pursue making it more, because I would have stressed myself out a lot. But if anyone watching this wants to make a sort of game anywhere, on any engine, whatever, I highly encourage it. It'd be amazing to see it get done like that, and if possible, I would love to voice act for that game to be a part of that, and still be a part of the idea in general. Though, of course, just go nuts. I don't need to be in there. Just all I ask is if there is one either already made or has been made after this video, please let me know and update me so I can check it out. I might honestly do a video on it, if that does happen. Yeah, other than that, there's not much else I can really say about this project. There's not even any unscripted live stuff I can do. Technically, right now I'm unscripted. The script has ended already. I still need to type more for the rest of the stuff. But I can't really say much else. There's not anything else to show other than, I mean, maybe there's a holotar over there, but I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you other than, I don't know, give you some more cinematic shots of this, so sure, let's just do that. Okay, hang on, slight correction. Before we get to the cinematic shots, I just looked at the holotar and I got some of it wrong. You aren't an old ranger, maybe you could still be the old hiker, but the information given there is that you were invited for a camping trip where Siren Head lives here. Overall, the rest of the stuff I said is still the same, but I figured I'd throw that in here real quick just to keep everything as accurate as possible to what I originally had visioned, because I completely forgot about that. I'm glad that I actually went back and looked at that real quick. So anyway, now it's cinematic shot time. So I'm unscripted here, but this segment is going to be just entirely the smaller projects that I don't really have much to say about in any way. I kind of covered everything. Oh, actually, I kind of covered everything that, you know, I really need to in terms of like having intros and outros to each segment for like the last couple ones. This one is just purely like, here are some smaller things that, you know, I can't really, like, I can basically summarize like actively in the room itself. So let's go ahead and get right into them. I need to close my window. Anyway, this, a recreation of the first Bendy chapter. This one, I don't really know how close I got to completing it. Oh boy, stick drift's gonna be fun while recording here today, huh? You know, it's just a simple, like, it's not like a playable one, it's more so just like a hangout kind of thing. You know, you can go around the whole map and everything. You know, I'm pretty sure everything I show here is completely done by me. There shouldn't, as far as I'm aware, there shouldn't be anything here that is an invention, but we'll see if I can remember. Yeah, it's like, this here is like, I'm hearing like a clown horn outside, what the fuck? Anyway, you know, you got the projector and everything. Yeah, there's a lot of just interactables. Sorry, I'm getting notifications on my like real world watch, so yeah, but yeah. You know, you go down here. Cutout isn't there. Was there? Did I put something for this? I did not. Yeah, as you can see, this room's unfinished. The bathroom isn't even in there. There. What's that about? That shouldn't need to be there. Why is that like that? Oh well. You know, you go down here, you got this little area, and every door is interactable. You know, the sign here, writing on the wall, rattle door, ooh. But the doors that do open, just open as soon as you get close to them. Oh, did I not make this? I swear to God I made that work. Oh well. These doors automatically shut and close when you get near them. Another unfinished room here. The ink machine room here. This was, I remember being very proud of this, and I probably still will be. You can actually... Damn, that model is not terrible looking at it, honestly. Yeah, and I remember, yeah, the Steam. If I face through my invisible wall here, yeah, this isn't a bad looking model for this. And yeah, I didn't add the ink label on the back because I didn't need to. But yeah, this is really good. I don't remember this being as good as it is. Holy shit. It's like the light shining through, there's not really holes in there or anything. There's a lot of corners I had to cut. Like, let me see. Yeah, like, I don't know if, like, again, I'm pretty sure in some of the updates they've done, the ink limit was raised higher. I'm pretty sure if I'm willing to bet I was over half the ink limits in some range with what I have now when I was making this. You can also send it back down. No, I can't send it back down? Oh, okay, you can. It was just bugged. Yeah. Step over that, go through here, and then this is where, like, more unfinished rooms, that area back there. I actually did something I think is pretty funny. I actually... Yeah, you got this door here. I actually managed to jump scare a couple friends who I showed this room back in the day. it was really funny. I think like at least 2 or 3 people got jump scared by that and like actually spooked. Yeah, I come down here, oh no, the floor, nothing, kind of. But yeah, there's like, there's not much else to really say about it other than it's a recreation of the Chapter 1 Bendy map that's not finished. And I'm actually, like, looking back at this is actually, like, really, really well done. I honestly kind of expected to look back at this and kind of be like, there's a lot of stuff I could have done better. But for what I was doing, and, considering I had to be under a limit, this is really good. Like, honestly, I don't got any notes for myself for once. Like, I know at one point I wanted to do individual floorboards instead of just using the textures and everything, but it cost too much ink, and so I had to default to doing this. It was annoying, but I did what I could, and I did well. Yeah, that's all I can really say. I did well at this. I don't think there's really anything more to show. Yeah, that's also empty. Yeah, I did plan on making the entire map. It's just another case of I never got around to doing it. So let's see what's next up on the list. Wrong thing. This was just going to be a cute little thing that was like, I made a bunch of FNAF plushie designs. Actually, these are still really fucking cute. Oh my god. Yeah, I had some buttons that kind of... Where's a couple things? Might as well push them in here. My god-awful voice back then.
Hello, and welcome to my FNAF Plushie Showcase. Now, before you start, you might want to head over to the info over there to know what the buttons will do, and just know some information on some of them. So, enjoy!
Okay.
If you're wondering, no, these will not be on the Invention Store. Although, if you want to use them, do ask me first, because then only co-owners can save these as inventions. So if you really want one, tell me what the purpose is, and I might give it to you.
Also, looking back, I'm not sure why I wouldn't have done that. It might not have been like when inventions could actually be like you could actually get tokens from them. So maybe that's why. Anyway, getting to the actual cool parts of it. So yeah, a FNAF 1 gang. The blue help wanted version of Bonnie, simple as that. Foxy, just a version without the tail. What did my stupid voice have in the mouth had to say?
Foxy was the first one that I ever made. And then I decided, why not do the entire FNAF crew? And then, why not do all of them? But I decided to give him a tail and not a tail for both alternatives. Just for fun. So, yeah.
That actually is right. I did make the Foxy one first, and then I was like, you know what? I've got something here. I got Peak right here. And it led to me just... I made a lot of these. I really did. They're just not all shown here because I didn't make all the little showcase rooms for them. You got Golden Freddy here. The toys. You got Shadow Bonnie. No Beak Toy Chica. Mangle. There's also a not broken Mangle. All the Withereds. Oh, God. All upsetty. And then the alternative was without the big jaw, and then Shadow Freddy. So what I will do is I do have the plush packs saved as inventions. So I'll just pull them all up instead. Here's one of them, the puppet. Okay, she's fucking adorable, what the hell? Yeah, one holding the box, one with the open box, and then one without the box. Why do I have a mirror? Do some of these inventions I have no memory of saving? This fucking chut. What do you want me to say about him? It's Balloon Boy. All things considered, it doesn't look that bad. Here we go. Here are the bundles. So you got the Grind Child. Looks a little doofy. It's Spring Bonnie is a simple recolor. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't give them the purple bow tie. Maybe they wasn't shown to have one yet. I don't know. I could be stupid. Spring Trap, simplistic. I didn't do too much. The Phantoms are all just easy recolors. So, you know, I didn't have to do much there. The FNAF 4 bundle. Holy shit, okay, there's a lot to go through here. Okay, so... yeah, there's quite a few alternatives for these. Okay, I could just remove their heads. I guess maybe it just didn't merge them then. Yeah, I had a couple alternative versions for a lot of these. Yeah. They all had these scary mouths. Oh my god, okay, wait a second. That's actually really fucking clever. That is really clever. I like that. I love that. Just the actual... oh my god, that's amazing. Evil Chica. Plush Dress. Nightmare Fredbear, Nightmare, you know. Then all these guys. Nightmare one actually looks really nice. Jacko Bonnie, Nightmare Balloon Boy. Those Jackos. Nightmare Mingle looks a little doofy. Especially, what the fuck? What is this chud face? Okay. Anyway, I'm pretty sure... yes, I was correct. Holy shit. We're filling up the room. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got up to... I'm pretty sure I only got up to sister location. Yeah, you got... these actually look really good. Holy shit. Yes, you got Baby, you got Valora. Wholly over-detailed. Maybe, I don't know. Funtime Freddy, Bonbon, Funtime Foxy, Bonnet, all bit. These are so... oh my, I made the speakers into the... oh my god. All up... her writing's fire? What the fuck? This is just... good. Like, I'm looking back on all these, I'm like, I have no notes, really. Like, even Belore, like, she's detailed as fuck. And, like, a little, like, some of these are doofy looking, but at the same time, it makes them even more admirable. At least in my eyes. You're just looking at all these, and I'm just like, damn. They're just silly little guys. They're all just little babies. I love them. Oh, I forget he's missing a leg, so I didn't even notice that. Yeah, like, again, self-explanatory. Just, alright, there's alternative versions with the pumpkin. Why did I make this an alternative version? Wait a minute. Is that just for, like, ink count? For, like... it's like... that's really goofy. That is so goofy. But these are all really, like, well done. I admire all of these. Like, the detail I put into each and every one of them just is so good. Like, even some of the, like I was saying, even some of the doofy ones are still admirable. I don't fucking know, I'm bored. Yeah, I know I planned on doing Pizza Sim, and I don't know if I ever started on any for Pizza Sim. So, that's all I have to show for this, really. Moving on. I think this had some decent progress, question mark. I'm gonna eat my own words so quickly here, aren't I? Like, I'm gonna load it and it's gonna be fucking nothing. I swear to God. It's some texts. It's taking a while to load, so maybe there's something promising on the other side. It sure took a long ass time. So you're at the diner. Nothing. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. Like, oh yeah, sure, I got the cafeteria done. And a floor for a hallway. So many of the rooms I made are just like this. Is there any backups I can show that are at all more complete than this? I don't think this is gonna have anything more. Oh no. This might go... This This was the first save. This was the first save. What? Fucking, what can I even show anymore that, like, has anything worth showing? There's like, there's so many of these that I don't even remember. I think the most I can do is, like I mentioned earlier in the video, just make a separate video, because there's a lot of Final Fantasy Phantom stuff that I had. I think the best thing to do is to make a separate video for that. And you know what? Before I do some of the other stuff for this video, while I'm already going unscripted, I might as well go cover that now. So time to make a new recording. Yippee! So after showing all of that, you know, all the projects, all the smaller stuff, talking about why this game means so much to me and everything, let's start talking about the now of things. My feelings of the shutdown, like I said, are, like in the intro of this video, are very conflicted, but let's start with the negatives for now. When I came back in the Rec Room in 2024, I noticed really quickly how little people were left, and I'd over the next couple months understand as to why. Tokens were getting so annoying to obtain without straight up paying for them or getting Rec Room Plus. The playtab was overrun with copy and pasted rooms, clearly only trying to get a buck out of kids who didn't know any better and just used mommy's credit card. Circuits V1, despite developer promises, was left to break and just die. And then I watched as it began to add stupid generative AI whatever bullshit into the game. All of that, plus how bad the game was running, which, in all fairness, could have been just because of my laptop at the time, how much easier it was to run into children who were definitely under 13, weirdos or toxic people, it all pushed me away. And despite some of the fun times with some new people, I just couldn't support the game anymore. I would just move to the sidelines and watch from afar, hoping to see this game rise like a phoenix despite my gut telling me it wouldn't happen. And when I heard there were good changes being made, I was hesitant but joined my friend to check out the game again, but I hadn't played since until making this video. And the next update that I had heard after that, the shutdown. And despite how I feel in its current state, despite how awful it was, despite my gut telling me it wouldn't get any better, this still hit like a truck. This game meant so much to me. It did so much to lead me to becoming the person I am today and constantly striving to do better. The worst part is, most of my friends today, they probably won't understand. They didn't see the game that I did. They weren't there when it was at its best. They weren't the ones who had multiple aspects of their life improved by it. And I know a couple of my friends did play Rec Room, of course, and there's the ones that I met through it, either in the past or present, and like some who I would learn play, like back then, just didn't meet back then, right? But the keyword was most. And of the friends I've made in the last year or two, to my knowledge, a majority haven't played. They most likely see the game as nothing but a shitty VR Roblox clone with squeakers at every turn, instead of the genuine passion it was from the devs and the community. And that sucks. And I'll take a moment in this section to mention something that I don't really feel like I have enough to say to make a dedicated section, so I'm just going to slot this in the end here. There are fan-made private servers being worked on so you can still play the game. Kind of similar to what happened with Little Big Planet, if anyone remembers that. If you played Little Big Planet back then, you know ball. Though I have not really looked into this yet, and I know of one called Radium, which I think it's called, and I'm hopefully pronouncing it right. I've been hearing good things, and I'll take a peek at it someday, but for now I don't have anything I can really say about the private servers. I just figured I'd mention it here, cover all the bases, and say there is still a way to play Rec Room in some way. It's just, I haven't looked into it myself. So yeah. I genuinely hate to see this game go, and I really wish they were able to turn things around. This was a defining chapter in my life that I didn't want to see close like this. But despite efforts from the community, it seems the game was doomed past a certain point, and instead of trying to fix their mistakes, they just gave up on us, which you can't convince me is not the case. At least to some degree. They realized the hole they dug for themselves, and refused to put in all the effort needed to right the wrongs they've made. Whatever the case, this chapter in a way is over, and by all accounts, there might be a chance I can never relive the glory days again, which hurts to say. If you watched this far, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, this game means so much to me. It's meant so much to me for as long as I can remember, and I'm glad I could share part of my past with you today. With that, I don't really think I have anything else to say. I will be blazing out here. If Radium works out, you might see me there. Don't know. Like I mentioned earlier in a little cut-in segment, if any of you remember me from Rec Room back then, definitely feel free to let me know. I wouldn't complain hearing from some of you guys again. Wonder how you've been doing. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be.